Hello, friends. Welcome to This Day in Jack Benny. I'm John Henderson, and today's episode of The Jack Benny Show is not an episode of The Jack Benny Show. It's a special presentation, Buck Benny Rides Again, which was a theatrical movie. This is sort of the abridged version, like if the movie were an old radio show. So grab some popcorn and enjoy the show.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you that rugged hero of the great outdoors, that strong, silent sphinx of the prairie, that man among men where men are men, Jack Benny in Buck Benny Rides Again.
Oh, Don, please.
With a sterling cast including Ellen Drew, Andy Devine, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Virginia Dale, Lillian Cornell, Teresa Harris, Kay Lineker, Ward Vaughn, the Muriel Abbott Dancers, and Rochester.
You don't have to shout it, Don.
Together with the radio voices of Mary Livingston, yours truly, Don Wilson, and Fred Allen.
Fred Allen? So long, folks.
Now, Carmichael, you get in there. Let go of me. Remember, we got a non-aggression pact. Hello, Mr. Harris.
Hello, Roch. Hiya, Jackson. How's the boy?
Hello, Philsy. Say, how do you keep that gorgeous Marcel in this weather?
I use a washboard for a pillow.
Oh, you ought to keep your face off of it.
Well, how about you? You changed your mind? You going out to Nevada with me?
Phil, I told you before, we're going to stay right here in New York. By the way, Phil, remember that brunette who used to be so crazy about you?
Oh, yeah. Whatever became of her?
Right now, she happens to be establishing residence in Nevada, Caldwell, Nevada.
Look, Jack, you got me all wrong. I just want to go because it's a grand place to spend a nice, restful vacation.
Restful with all the shooting and killing that's going on out there?
They don't have that stuff out west anymore. It's as peaceful as it is right here.
Now, don't try to kid me, Phil. I saw Union Pacific 3 times.
But, Jack, the ranch I have in mind is just as modern and luxurious as this hotel.
Oh, it is?
Why, sure, it has everything. Beautiful rooms and a magnificent swimming pool.
Nothing doing, Phil. We've got work to do on next season's air program, and we're going to do it right here.
Okay. Let's go out and grab some lunch.
No, I went out grabbing with you yesterday and got the check. Besides, I have an audition.
Well, we've still got a couple of weeks in case you change your mind about Nevada.
Phil, if you mention Nevada once more, you'll be back leading the orchestra on the Albany Night Boat.
Well, at least they threw nickels at me.
What do you think I do every Saturday? Rochester, get my car out.
Yes, sir.
Fine band leader. Leads his orchestra with a curling iron. Now get my car out.
Yay! What's the big idea? Haven't you got any brakes?
Brakes. That's a good one.
Oh, smart guy, huh? Well, laugh this off. You smashed into me and you're gonna pay for it.
Now, just a minute, young man. Don't be too hasty. I happened to be passing by and saw the whole thing. This fellow is absolutely innocent.
Innocent? Listen, buddy.
There's no question about it. As a matter of fact, you backed right into this poor man.
I backed into him.
You certainly did.
Attaboy, boss.
Boss? Hey, wait a minute. Do you own this car?
Well,
I said, do you own this car?
stop hitting that fender. They fall off.
Well, of all the... I ought to take you and...
All right, folks, break it up. Haven't you got a home? What's going on here?
This oop boy has been rushing me all day.
All right, lady, I'll handle him.
Good. Come along, driver. I probably missed my appointment now.
But, officer, there's been a misunderstanding. Look, I'm Jack Benny.
Jack Benny? The radio comedian?
Yes. Yes. Do you listen to my program?
Oh, I never miss him.
Well, I'm glad. Gee, that's swell. Come over and see us next Sunday. Here's a ticket for you.
Oh, gosh, thanks. Well, you come over and see us next Monday. Here's a ticket for you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hey!
Joan, we thought you'd never get here.
What's the matter? Is your watch still running on Arizona time? I'm sorry, but one of those things Mother warned us about has been following me all morning.
Oh, you have all the fun.
Some fun. This audition weren't so important to us.
Cameron sisters. You're next, girls.
Hi, Mac. Where are we? Studio D?
No, Mr. Benny, you've been changed to Studio A. They've got a flock of trios in D auditioning for a cigarette account.
can change I love you, the same old I love you to oh, such a heaven praise.
Hold it, girls. Thanks very much. We'll let you know later.
It's that Junior G-man again. He even followed me here.
Well, so we meet again.
Haven't you done enough to me for one day?
They're ready for you in A, Mr. Benny.
Hey, Tommy, see that young lady, the one on the right?
Yeah.
Find out her name and address.
Okay, Mr. Benny.
Did you say Mr. Benny? Is that Jack Benny?
It ain't Carmichael, lady.
Well,
This is it, Rochester. Now take that box of candy and this note up to Miss Joan Cameron, apartment E, immediately.
But, boss, you ain't even acquainted with the young lady.
Well, of course I'm not acquainted with her. That's why I'm sending her this gift. I've offended her and I want to apologize.
Oh, little box of fudge. That ain't no apology.
It's a big box, and besides, it's very good candy.
It ought to be. I made it.
You made it. Listen, Rochester, who put the nuts in?
You did.
That's more like it. Now, remember, if everything goes okay, you signal from that window and I'll come right up. Now, hurry up.
Okay. I don't know how I do it. Butler, chauffeur, valet, cook, now I'm a carrier pigeon.
Yes?
Package a note for Miss Joan Cameron.
I'm sorry she isn't in right now.
When do you... My.
Would you care to leave it?
Baby, I better come in and wait.
I don't know whether...
It's a very important package. It's from Mr. Benny. Mr. Jack Benny.
Mr. Jack Benny? Do you work for him?
With a capital W.
Well, won't you come in, Mr.
Van Jones is the name. Rochester Van Jones. Mighty cozy. Mighty cozy. Say, haven't I met you somewhere before? London, Paris, Harlem?
No, it couldn't have been me. We just got in from the West a few weeks ago.
And you haven't seen the sights yet?
No, I stay in most every night.
Honey, get ready for some fresh air. How about you and me doing the town tonight?
Why, Mr. Van Jones, I hardly know you.
Well, that problem's being settled right now. What do you say, Miss...
Templeton, Josephine Templeton.
Sure glad I delivered this package in person, Josephine.
I am too, Rochester. Why, Mr. Van Jones, you're blushing.
Oh, fine.
Would you like to hear a phonograph record?
I might go for a little Debussy.
Debussy? Whose band is that?
Band? He ain't no band. Ain't you ever heard of La Près de Mi Don Fon?
I don't think so. What's that?
That's French. Sort of French for seafood mama.
Oh.
It's raining, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to shout a poem about how I dream of that gleam in your eye. I want to shout, but all that comes out is my mind. I want to sing of flowers in spring, but oh dear, when you're near, I just die. I want to sing and can't sing a thing, but my mind. I should say, oh, how lovely. I should say, ah, how sweet. I should have Shakespeare at the tip of my tongue, but every time we meet, I look at you, and what do? I get weak, I can't speak, I just sigh. And though I try, the best I can sigh is my mind.
Come to think about it, you're sort of sweet, strictly elite, not too bold, not too cold, but so shy. You're sort of sweet the way you repeat my mind. You're kind of smart the way you capturing my heart with that line, you divine little guy. You're kind of smart to make a fine art of my mind. You could say, how intriguing. Or you could say, how petite.
I could have Webster in the palm of my hand, but every time we meet, dead pigeon.
You don't do bad, in fact, I might add, you're my type, and time's right, sugar pie.
Why, Josephine, that's just what I mean by my mind. I'm afraid to look. Is it raining outside?
No, Rochester. I was eating a grapefruit and it got out of control.
Now, look, boss, here's what happened.
I'll discuss that with you later.
I'll see you at 8 tonight, honey. Don't forget we're going formal.
Rochester Van Jones, I'm waiting.
When he Van Joneses me, he's mad. Boss, I said I was sorry. Ain't you going to accept my apology?
Well, all right. But from now on, you can be a lovey-dovey on your own time. Fine shape to go out with Miss Cameron tonight.
Miss Cameron? How can you go out with her when she ain't even speaking to you?
Rochester, after that lovely box of candy and that sweet note I sent her, she can't possibly be mad at me.
Boss, speaking as a neutral, I would say that you have arrived at a debatable conclusion.
Well, you never see anything my way. Who was it said that this hotel wouldn't allow animals? Carmichael is here, isn't he?
Yeah, but you're trying to bring him in on a coat hanger.
Well, what if I did? It was a better idea than yours. You wanted me to put a veil on him and register as Mr. and Mrs.
Good evening, Miss Joan. Good evening.
I can't figure you out, Joan. You act as though every man east of the Mississippi has a black mustache and a leer.
Why be so stubborn? Why don't you phone Mr. Benny?
There's no use discussing it. The man is...
I know. He bumped into your cab, he flirted with you, and he broke up the audition. But he's still Jack Benny, and he can do us a lot of good. Miss Joan has a package on a note for you from Mr. Jack Benny.
Oh, isn't this romantic? Thrilling.
Aren't you even going to read the note?
I can stand the suspense.
Well, I can't.
Joan, isn't Mr. Benny sweet? He apologizes for everything and wants you to have dinner with him tonight. What do you say?
Well, that's kicking Cupid right in the pants.
It's getting late, boss. Don't you think you better go out and get something to eat?
Rochester, I'm having dinner with Miss Cameron tonight, and we're not leaving this room until she calls.
Oh, my Aunt Bessie sure is going to be disappointed.
What about your Aunt Bessie?
Didn't I tell you, boss? The stork presented her with twins this afternoon.
If I remember correctly, Rochester, the stork visited your Aunt Bessie only 2 months ago.
He sure gets around, don't he?
It's no use, Rochester. You're going to stay right here and help me get dressed.
Well, you might as well make up your mind, boss. She ain't going to call. That must be for me.
Get out. Hello? Yes, this is Jack Benny.
Oh, Mr. Benny, this is Joan Cameron. I just got your charming note.
Well... Oh, hello, Miss Cameron.
Now anything can happen.
Gee, it was awfully nice of you to call me. After the silly way I acted today, I really didn't expect it.
It ain't what you said to me.
Rochester.
Oh, no, now. I'm the one who should apologize. After all, I was rather rude. You see, I was worried about an important audition.
Oh, say, that reminds me. You know, I'm not definitely set on my own program next season. Perhaps you could audition for me.
Oh, you're so sweet, Mr. Benny.
Oh, just call me Jack. I'll tell you what. Suppose we have dinner at the 44 Club, and you could sing for me there.
Gee, that's swell. We'll never be able to thank you.
We?
Oh, my sisters and I, we're a trio.
Oh, you're a trio.
Of course, I'd rather be alone with you.
Well, maybe after you've sung, we could kind of lose the others.
Oh, I'm sure we can.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll pick you up in an hour.
Well, goodbye, Jack.
Goodbye, Joan. Smarty pants.
Joan! What do you think? We're auditioning tonight. Auditioning? For whom?
Isn't it wonderful? Just think, if we click, we can move into a big apartment with separate bedrooms and separate bathrooms with radios in them.
Who are we auditioning for? It's Jack Benny, and we're not going.
Oh, but Joan, he was so sweet and apologetic when he phoned that I just had to accept his dinner invitation.
Jenny, that's the oldest gag in the world. Have dinner with me, and I'll make a star out of it.
But he invited all of us. And any fellow who'll ask 3 girls on a date can't be a boogeyman.
I wouldn't go out with him if he drove up in a sleigh and had white whiskers and toys.
Look, Joan, it isn't a question of what you want or what I want. Peggy has to be considered. She has a real voice, and she's entitled to a break.
All right. I guess I haven't any right to be selfish.
Oh, that's swell, Joan.
Ya-da-da-da-dum, da-da-dum. I want a white tie, Rochester. I'm wearing my full dress suit.
Full dress?
What's the matter with my full dress suit?
Well, for one thing, the tails are too close to the floor.
I had them cut off. Now get me the suit.
Boss, that outfit don't look good on you. You ought to wear your tuxedo.
Rochester.
Brings out your personality better.
I said get me my full dress suit.
The tuxedo makes you look younger.
Rochester, for the last time. Does it? All right, give me the tuxedo.
Yes, sir.
Now, you're Peggy, you're Virginia, and you're Joan. I mustn't get you mixed up.
In case you forget, just call the roll.
Gee, it was sweet of you.
Oh, look at the taxi cab with a driver.
Now, don't forget later on.
What about later?
You know, we're going to ditch the others, remember?
We're going to.
What do you have, Mr. Harris?
I'll just stick to the corn. You know me.
Hello, Phil.
Hello, Charlie.
What do you know about Jack Benny that Fred Allen ought to know?
Why this sudden interest in Benny? Aren't you on the paper anymore?
No, I'm Fred Allen's press agent now.
Ready with your call to Nevada, Mr. Harris.
Thanks.
What goes on in Nevada?
Look, Charlie, it's Benny's private life that Allen is interested in. Not mine. Hello. Yeah, this is Phil Harris. All right, I'll wait.
Beg your pardon. Mr. Harris, calling from New York.
Thank you.
Hello, darling.
I'm glad you called, Philsy. I'm so lonesome out here.
I know, honey, and I'm trying my best to promote Jack into a trip west, but he says we got to stay right here and work.
Well, why can't you work out here? I've still got 5 weeks to serve.
Now, just don't worry. I'll get Jack out there if I have to break a leg. His leg. I'll think of something.
Why?
Hello, Goldilocks. Who are the three bears?
Now, don't get fresh, Phil. These are the Cameron sisters, Mr. Harris.
Oh, sure. I've seen you kids.
Oh, no, you haven't. These girls just came from the West.
Well, he could have seen us. We didn't come here in a covered wagon.
Good evening, Andre. Table for 4, please.
Make that 5.
Yes, Mr. Harris.
I can't imagine Jack having a date with 3 girls.
Isn't exactly a date. It's an audition.
Good old Jackson coming here for an audition so he can get an orchestra for nothing.
Well, for your information, Phil, I'm auditioning the orchestra, too.
Something to drink, sir?
Sure, champagne all around.
Yes, Mr. Harris.
Now, Phil, who's throwing this party anyway?
I don't know. I wasn't even invited.
I know. Oh, shall we dance?
Don't you think we better wait until the music starts?
Yes, that would be better. So you girls are from the West, huh?
Yes, Dry Creek, Arizona, population 300.
You know, Joan, it was big of you to forgive me after the way I acted.
Forgive you.
Your voice sounded so sweet over the
Oh, come on, Mr. Benny. I've just got to dance with you.
Well.
Come on.
Excuse me.
You can dance with Joan later, but first I've just got to explain about that telephone call.
Oh, did she tell you?
Well, as a matter of fact, I haven't told her yet.
You haven't told her.
You see, Mr. Benny, that sweet voice on the phone wasn't Joan's at all. It was mine. She didn't know anything about it.
Oh. Well, I guess that puts me right back to where I bumped into her taxi.
It isn't you personally, Mr. Benny. Joan thinks the only real men come from the West. Too bad you weren't born out there.
Well, I was born in Waukegan, Illinois. That's west of Cleveland. Take away the Rockies, and it's practically in Arizona.
That might help.
Well, I had a Shetland pony until I was 19 years old.
Say, you're virtually a cowboy.
Say, Phil, how about me crashing the party and meeting Jack Benny?
Why not? I crashed it. It's a cinch. Sit down and meet 2/3 of the Cameron sisters. This is Charlie Graham.
How you doing?
Hello. Jack, this is Charlie Graham. He's been dying to meet you for a long time.
Well, that's fine. How do you do?
Hello. This is another Cameron, Charlie.
Hello.
How do you do?
Oh, Joan, I've got the most exciting news. Mr. Benny's been holding out on us.
Oh, really?
He's a regular Westerner. Why, he was born almost practically in Arizona. Spent his first 19 years on a horse.
Well, it was a small horse.
Why, the kid's a born horseman. Show him your bow legs, Jack.
Oh, not here, Phil.
And don't forget, he does play Buck Benny on the air.
Oh, I know that seems like a lot of nonsense, but underneath it all, that Buck Benny is the real me.
Mr. Benny, have you a pencil?
A pencil? I believe I have. There you are.
Thanks. Say, Jack, did you tell the girls about your ranch?
My ranch?
You should see him when he's out west. He really goes for that rough stuff.
How thrilling. Where is your ranch, Mr. Benny?
Oh, it's nothing much.
Where is it?
It's in Nevada, Caldwell, Nevada. We're going out there next week, eh, Jackson?
Well, I don't know about that, Phil.
But I just called the foreman, and he and the boys will be awfully disappointed if you don't go out. That reminds me, Andre, put my call to Nevada on Mr. Benny's check.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special attraction this evening, the Cameron sisters. A request performance for Mr. Jack Benny.
Pretty, pretty, pretty sweet. Repeat it ever and ever so sweet. Just like an old Valentine. Oh, it's too divine. When you say I love you, the same old I love you, they whisper in stories and play. You can change I love you, the same old I love you, to oh such a heavenly phrase. So say it, softly and gently, and then over and over again. Never stop saying you're mine. Man, if you mean to be mine, just say it over and over again. Over and over again. Over and over again. Never stop saying you're mine. Before you beat it, repeat it. I'm getting conceited. Won't you say it and then say it and then say it again?
No kidding, Portland. That's what they tell me. Jack Benny's going out west and rough it. Oh, rough it. Benny's idea of roughing it is to go 2 days without a manicure. Imagine that tenderfoot on a horse. If Benny ever gets on a jackass, you won't know who's riding who.
I hate him.
Did you hear what Alan said about you, Jack?
Yes, and he's got a lot of nerve calling me a tenderfoot. Hey, Mary?
I'll say, especially since you got those new art supporters.
Oh, quiet. Anyway, Alan should talk about me. Any man that has to use bellows to take a deep breath. Well.
Isn't he funny, Joan?
Yes, he's a riot.
No kidding, Mary. Is Jack really going out west?
He sure is. I saw him in a store yesterday buying a 10-gallon hat, a 6-shooter, and a side saddle.
Don't be so smart. It was a regular Western saddle. Oh, boy, I can't wait until I get on it. Can't you just see me, Mary? I rush over to the hitching post, jump on that horse, and I'm off in a cloud of dust. What are you laughing at?
Come back. You forgot to untie the horse.
Oh, yes. Well, anyway, folks, I've got all my equipment, and I'm going to my little ranch in Nevada. Play, Phil.
That's a break. Now we'll never get Joan and him together.
Well, what'll we do?
I wonder if there's a place in Nevada that could use a trio that could use a place in Nevada.
Hey, Jackson, what's this?
Well, that's a 6-shooter I bought this morning. Bet you'd hate to be on the wrong end of that, eh, Phil?
Yeah.
Darn that salesman. Give me that. Now what? Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
Here are your roses. The young lady wouldn't accept them.
Oh, Joan won't answer the phone, keeps sending back my flowers.
Well, she'll get over that. You can make up with her.
How can I make up with her when I'm going 3,000 miles away? Well, put down the roses. What are you waiting for?
May I have one for my hair?
Get out. Now what's the matter?
We're out of gas.
Out of gas?
Well, we picked a fine place for it.
I told you, boss, you should have put in more than 3 gallons at that last stop.
That's all the man had, and you know it.
What are you talking about?
You keep out of this. Well, I guess there's nothing to do but wait till someone comes along. Thank heavens we're on the main highway.
I meant to tell you, boss, I turned off the main highway about 45 miles back. This is a shortcut.
That's all we need, a shortcut.
Oh, I'm thirsty.
Where's the water bottle, Rochester?
Right here, boss.
Well, hand it to me. I'm thirsty.
Okay, but it's empty.
Well, fellas, I guess this is the end. But I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to die. Die like a rat on this desert? You're to blame for this, Harris.
Don't feel so sorry for yourself. All we gotta do is walk toward the hotel. We get there eventually. Come on.
Yep, let's go.
Sorry, Rochester, but you'll have to stay here and watch the luggage.
I don't want to stay out here by myself.
You'll have to stay. After all, this is your car.
Want to buy it cheap?
No, I don't. Come on, Phil.
So long, Rochester.
We ought to be getting into Caldwell pretty soon, shouldn't we?
Yeah, in a couple of hours.
Caldwell.
I've been trying to remember where I heard that name before.
I used to know a sailor by that name, remember?
Oh, look at those hills. Gee, it's swell to be back in the West again.
Well, you can thank little Virginia for getting us a job out here.
Guy sure saved our lives when he picked us up.
Yeah, we might have died like rats on that desert.
Bill Harris, don't you ever mention that to a soul.
Well, Jackson, what do you think of it?
Hey, this is my idea of the wild and woolly West.
Yeah, let's go bulldog at Tom Collins, huh?
Lucky nobody knows me out here. If Fred Allen ever found out I was stopping at a place like this.
Hiya, Buck!
Why, Andy! And Dennis Day.
Hiya, fellas.
What are you doing here?
Well, my ranch is just a hoop and a holler away from here.
And I'm spending the summer with Andy. Gee, it's exciting.
Well, of all things. But, Andy, how'd you figure out that Phil and I were coming to this hotel?
Well, Brenda Tracy's staying here, and it don't take Sherlock Holmes to put her and Phil together.
That reminds me, I gotta see a girl about a kiss. I'll see you guys later.
Well, so your ranch is close by, eh, Andy? How are things going?
Oh, terrible, Buck, terrible. Been having trouble all summer with a couple of bad men.
Bad men?
Yeah, they've been hiding out in the hills near my place.
Gee.
Thanks. Just wait here. I'll get the money. Hey, boss. Can I have $10?
What for?
I promised it to the man for towing me in.
$10? Why'd you promise him so much?
I thought it was a mirage.
Gee, can you imagine getting paid for working in a place like this?
I think we're going to like it here in Caldwell.
Wait a minute. Caldwell. Now I remember. Isn't this the town where Jack Benny said he had a ranch?
Why,
And your getting us booked here wasn't a coincidence.
Well, to tell the truth, I might as well tell the truth. You're right.
You're not angry, are you, Joan?
No. It might be very interesting to see Buck Benny in a Western setting. Very interesting.
Going somewhere?
Listen, Phil, there's a train leaving for the east tonight, and I'm going to be on it if I have to sit on the engineer's lap.
But we just got here. You know what Brenda said, this place grows on you.
Well, it'll have to grow on somebody else. Now start packing. We're going back to New York.
Yippee! Josephine.
Joan.
Hey, Joan.
Quiet. If Joan ever finds out I'm staying at this dude ranch after all the letters I've written her.
Well, what do we do now?
Get me an aspirin. I've got to think. Andy Devine doesn't know it, but we're moving in on him right now.
Hey, Buck! Hey, Buck!
Hey, Andy, how do it look?
You know, Andy, I figured as long as I'm supposed to be the owner of this ranch, I might as well dress the part. You explain to your boys what they're supposed to do?
Yep, it's all fixed. I told them for every argument you picked with them in front of the girls, you'd pay them $5.
That's swell.
I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, and my legs ain't bald, and my cheeks ain't tan. I'm a cowboy who never saw a cow. How many expecting for dinner, boss?
Well, let's see. There'll be us, and there'll be Joan, Virginia, and Peggy. Hey, that must be them now.
Hey, is there a Jack Benny in this outfit?
Yeah, my name is Benny.
Well, I've been looking for you on every ranch in these parts.
See what it is, Rochester.
Yes. I knew things were going too smooth.
Good heavens, it's Carmichael. I wonder what happened. The hotel was supposed to take care of them. What do we do with them here?
Let's have a barbecue.
Rochester, if you lay a hand on that animal...
What are you going to do with him, boss?
You're going to take him out of that box, and tonight he'll have to sleep in your room.
Why do I have to ask questions?
And tomorrow we'll find a nice, cool place for him to stay.
Oh, it's all right. Don't make no pass at me. Remember, taxidermy ain't no lost art.
Say, Mr. Benny, you handle that like an old-timer.
Oh, I pick up these things awfully easy. Hey, here come the girls.
Well, here we are. And will Buck be surprised to see you, kid?
Isn't this marvelous?
Why, you no-good, low-down, horn-toad, why don't you watch where you're going? If you're hankering for trouble, I'll be glad to oblige. That's $5, Harry. Now, remember, I'm the owner of this here outfit, and I don't aim to be shoved around.
Yes, sir.
Don't you go forgetting it. Well, look who's here. Joan, what are you doing out here? Gee, this is a surprise. When'd you get out?
Buck, I'd like you to meet Miss Tracy. Brenda, this is my pal, Buck Benny.
Oh, yes, I've heard of you.
Howdy, ma'am. Hey, I can't get over it. Where are you kids staying?
At the B-Bar Inn. We're opening with the show there.
The B-Bar M. Oh, yes, that's that tenderfoot place. Little too deluxe for me.
I hope you don't mind our barging in like this.
No, not at all. I didn't have a thing planned today except to break in a new horse. But that can wait.
Oh, no, on the contrary. That's a splendid idea. Could you stand a little company?
I'd love to go for a ride.
Well, I'd love to have you, but There ain't a horse on the place fit for a lady.
Oh, all the better. If there's anything I hate, it's a horse with no spirit. Yeah, we like 'em wild.
Oh.
Come on, let's go.
Now, hold on a minute. You folks haven't had lunch yet.
Oh, I'd rather ride than eat any day.
Sure, we can have lunch later.
Come on, yippee!
Well, okay, I'll get the horses. This is going to be mighty dangerous. Mighty dangerous.
You seem to be having a little trouble there.
It's this darn saddle. I generally ride bareback. Learned it from an Indian.
Oh.
I gotta hand it to Buck. He sure tried.
Help! Whoa! Help! Help!
That's as wild a ride as I ever want.
Me too. I didn't know those things could go so fast.
Brenda, are you all right?
Thanks to Mr. Benny's bravery.
Oh, anybody could have done what I did.
Don't be so modest. If you hadn't rescued me, heaven only knows what would have happened.
Well, I did have to do some pretty quick thinking there.
You certainly did. You were marvelous.
You were wonderful, Mr. Benny. Really swell.
Oh, boy, if Fred Allen could only see me now. Well, we killed the fatted calf for you.
Oh.
Come on, girls, come right over here.
Thanks.
There lies my kind of country. Round that last bend we're heading for. Old timer, stay with me, and tonight we'll see my kind of country once more. There lives my kind of people, with that sundown smile bright and red. Old timer, I'll strike gold when these eyes behold my kind of country ahead. Travel home, maybe 5 more miles, maybe 10. May I ever grieve if I ever leave my kind of country again.
Yes, folks, this is my kind of country. Away out west, right here. Here with the deer and the antelope, and the antelope, and the deer. There's a bird singing outside the bunkhouse, singing a mighty pretty song. In these here parts where a man rides fast, shoots straight, and lives clean and long. Why, you poor city dweller, you miserable feller, must subway trains din in your ear? Feel the call of the west, and the deer, and the antelope, and the antelope, and the deer. There's a bird singing outside the bunkhouse when the western stars peep through. Ah, you city slicker, bend over that ticker. Shame, oh shame on you. You can keep your skyscrapers, your pencils and papers, if that's what you want, you dopes. But I'll take the plains, the red blood in my veins, and the deer, and the antelopes. There's a bird singing outside the bunkhouse, the sweetest I've ever heard. So you can have all your tinsel and glitter. As for me, just give me the bird.